Some of the recurring themes that we've talked about here at the conference and in other sort of industry events are accountability and trust and credibility, and how all those things sort of fit into how we're able to manage relationships, create reputation, and how successful we end up being, whether it's in traditional media or in newer kinds of media.
You know, one of the reoccurring themes that I keep hearing is that content is king, and that as marketers and PR professionals, we first have to have timely and relevant content, and then we choose our platform second. I think sometimes we get caught up in the haste and we choose our platform first, but this has just reminded me that how important content is.
One session that I found particularly interesting was on search engine optimization, and just all the different ways that you can link social media to your website and to get more hits.
Speaker from the World UN Food Organization. So, I like her in particular, especially when she when she entices all of us to support the UN Food Program. Another one would be what you call this? Spin Gold, not cotton candy.
What was that about?
It's about some principles on how to go about marketing, how to go about the right approach in your PR programs. So we're trying to be sincere with your message.
Everybody's really stressing social media. Everybody's talking about it, but there's a difference between doing social media and actually generating revenue from social media. So they actually showed you different ways to apply technologies and techniques to get money from that via tracking websites and analytical software.
It's about also about the creative process. So this one is very interesting. It's about the how to tell your story. I've been in the industry for quite a while, and it's so different here for attending the PRSA. It gave me a different perspective, a fresher perspective of things and how public relations go about. I came from the Philippines, and I'm overwhelmed by how social media is being used here. Because compared to Asian countries, we're still more focused on the traditional media. But eventually, I also see that where we're evolving into it. And my exposure here at the PRSA gave me a global perspective of things. I think public relations here in the US is 5 steps forward compared to us in Asia. But we see ourselves doing this as well. We see a lot of optimization of the use of social media, and we also see ourselves doing that.
I think it's here to stay, and we can't ignore it, but also you can't dive headfirst without knowing anything about it. So I'm here just to kind of learn all the different tools and tactics that you can use to get into it and hopefully drive business results.
I don't really have much of a take on social media. It's all the same to me. You know, I think the reality is when the telephone came and when email came and when television came, we had to adjust to the new medium by which we were delivering our messages. And essentially we're having to do that again now. And for some reason it feels like this big revolution, but it's just another medium that we have to start to understand how we're going to be using it and what we can get out of it.
Well, you know, I think social media rocks. I'm pretty active in the social space. I'm a blogger. I'm pretty active on Twitter. So I think it's really changed the game for PR professionals. The push strategy, in my opinion, is gone. And now we're moving towards two-way communications with our consumers.
I think social media, they say it's for everybody, but it's only for everybody if you know what you're doing. There's a difference between letting yourself say, hey, I'm at a garage band concert on a Thursday night, as opposed to learning how to actually track product purchases and product placements and generate revenue from it. And that's the big thing, to learn how to pitch social media as a tool to different companies to generate revenue.
I think we're starting to become a little bit more important when in terms of strategic planning, as opposed to reactionary kind of tactics. I think what we're doing is we're becoming part of the dominant coalition. slowly but surely, we're becoming part of the dominant coalition and helping to make business decisions as opposed to react to business problems. Well, I follow a couple people via social media channels, and most of them are people that I've met throughout my academic career. Some of them are people that I've seen at conferences like the PRSA conference, but I also try to make sure that when I do get particular publications, things like the PRSA Strategist, things like PRSA Tactics, and other organizations that I'm a part of like IABC and UPA, that I make sure that I try to make sure that what I'm seeing is something that's connected across the profession and not just unique to an organization.
You know, I keep up with change just by following current trends and attending great conferences like this. There's a lot of conferences locally, and you know, it's always nice to get out to DC or to New York to learn from the leaders and some of the innovators in the space.
I currently attend a lot of PRSA meetings and functions and take a lot of teleseminars and webinars just to kind of hear about all the trends and find out ways that I can implement them.
You come to these conferences, this is one of those industries that's very fluid. If you're out of the loop 1 or 2 years, you've actually missed so much that you can never be really comfortable saying, okay, I've done it once, I don't need to do it again. You actually have to constantly come back, and there's new themes and everything happens so fast in this industry. Well, this year's conference, I circled a few people that I wanted to speak to prior to, and it was focused basically on international PR because that's where I'm shifting to. And this year's conference, I got to actually meet a lot of industry leaders who are doing things internationally, and I got to take time out of their busy schedule to kind of learn a little bit more.
As a first timer, I think, honestly, I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with what's happening. I'm overwhelmed with the sessions, and I'm enjoying the sessions. It's so different if you're among colleagues that are of a different nationality. It's so public relations here in the States it's quite different compared to we in Asia, and this is a welcome development for me. Being a first time here, it's really something new.